Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making banga rice. If you like to see how this recipe is achieved, please stay tuned. So for this recipe, I'll be using canned banga, which is palm nut concentrate, as it's the only available banga I have here in the UK. And I'll also be using easy cook rice for this recipe, and I'll be using chicken stock as well. I'll also be using king prawn shrimps for this recipe and normal cooked shrimps. I'll also be using Scotch bonnet pepper, banga spice, and in case you're wondering, this is the banga spice I use. I'm going to leave a link as well. And I'm also going to be using chopped onions, crayfish powder, salt, and I'll also be using stock cube for this recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do, sorry guys, I didn't show this, I forgot. I will be using sunflower oil to fry the shrimps. I'm frying the shrimps because I want the shrimps to release the juice into the food rather than just adding the shrimps even though they are cooked, rather than just adding them into the rice. So I'm just going to be frying it for a bit until they are golden brown in color and the juice has been released into the oil. If this is your first time visiting my channel, you're welcome. Please support me by subscribing to my channel as I upload new recipes every week, and I'll be glad to have you in the Mogus Meals family. Thank you, and I hope you keep watching too. So I'm just keep frying them for about 2 to 3 minutes to make sure they're properly cooked and sauteed and the juice has been released. So I'm just going to keep stirring until they are golden brown in color. You can see some of the shrimps are already changing, the colors are changing, and after frying it for a while, you can see my shrimps, the color has changed completely from the way it looked before I added it. So they are good and they're properly fried, and the juice has also been released into the pot. So right now I'm just going to be removing the shrimps into a plate rather. I'm just going to be removing it into a plate while I continue with the rest phase of this recipe. So after removing the shrimps, I'm just going to add directly into the pot the palm nut concentrate. I'm just using the whole can, so you can determine which quantity you want to use, but I'm making a very large quantity of rice. So I'm just pouring the whole can of the palm nut concentrate into the pot. And next I'm just going to be adding my chicken stock. I'll be using it to dilute this concentrate because it's thick, as you can see. So I'm just using it to dilute the concentrate gradually and make sure the concentrate is properly melted and it's looking like a watery consistency instead of a thick consistency. So I'll also be adding water into the palm nut concentrate to increase the quantity of the concentrate I have in the pot, and I'm just going to give it a good mix to make sure it's properly mixed together with the palm nut. And after doing this, I'm just going to leave it and bring it to boil. So you can see my palm nut concentrate banga in the pot is boiling. So now I'll be adding my ingredients. So first I'll be adding the banga spices, and I'll also be adding my onion, and I'll also be adding the Scotch bonnet pepper, and I'll be adding the crayfish powder to it. And I'm going to give it a good mix to make sure the ingredients are properly incorporated with the banga in the pot that is boiling. So if you want to fry the onion, you can fry, but I just choose to pour it in. Next, I'll be adding my stock cube, and I'll also be adding salt. You want to add salt to taste, and I'm also adding chicken stock. This is optional, you can choose to skip it, but I just like adding it to my recipes and gives a good taste. So I'm just mixing it together to make sure all the ingredients are properly incorporated. You can give it a taste, as you can see I'm doing, to make sure the taste in the pot is okay before continuing with the rest phase of this recipe. So next I'll be adding my rice. So I'm using easy cook rice for this recipe because I want the rice to be properly soft and cooked. If you've seen my rice recipes, I'll leave a description up. You can click on the link. I normally use basmati rice for my rice recipes, but this one I choose to use easy cook rice because I want the rice to be really soft and moist when this rice is cooked. So I'm just putting the rice into different sections of the pot, and I'll be covering it to make sure it gets cooked. So it's been cooking for a while now, so I came back to check on the rice, and you can see how it looks. though there is a little bit of water in the pot, but this is the kind of thing I want for this face, because I will be adding the crayfish that I fried earlier on into this recipe. So I'm just giving it a good mix to make sure it's not getting burnt, and now I'll be adding my crayfish back into the rice. So I'm adding it back now, and I'm just giving it a good mix to make sure it's properly incorporated into the rice, and I'm just going to leave it to boil for some time. So I noticed the water in the pot is reduced and my rice is not really moist, so you can see the consistency change. I added a little bit of water to the rice, and I'm just giving it a good mix, and I'll be covering it with a tin foil because I want this to get really cooked and really soft and moist. So I'm just covering the tin foil to make sure all the moisture in the pot are contained and then they don't escape. So after cooking it for about like 10 minutes again, I came back to check on the rice, and though there is still oil because I'm using palm nut concentrate, so it's basically oil in the pot, I'm just giving it a good mix, and I'm going to reduce the heat, and I'll be cooking it under low heat to make sure it gets properly cooked. So this is how my banga rice looks like. It's been cooking under low heat for a while. You can see the rice is cooked, the oil and the moisture in the pot is reduced, and it's looking good. Though it's not really moist, but this is how soft I like it to be. I don't want it to be too mushy, so this is how I like it to be. You can see how good it looks. I really want for you guys to perceive the aroma of this meal in my kitchen. It's really nice, trust me. And if you like this recipe, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're still watching and you've not subscribed to my channel, please support me by subscribing to my channel, as I upload new recipes every week, and I'll be glad to have you in the Moga's Meals family. So this is how my food looks like. I came in for a closer view, though the steam is still everywhere, but you can see how soft and moist this rice look. It looks good. You can see the shrimps in it. It look good. They're all lovely and looking good inside. So this is how my rice looks like. I'm gonna have it with chicken, of course. You can see how lovely this rice is. It tastes even yummy as well. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.